So hi, it's like war again. Um, Talking about war and crimes and diet and whatever. I'd like basically to mention something which is just human nature, which is just really tending to be cruel, and people are incredibly cruel animals in my eyes, because people are really able to capture the equals and torture them. But unfortunately, torture is still existing in this world in the 21st century, which is really incredibly horrible and crazy. Why does it exist? Because we're so satisfied while torturing each other or while just being violent and cruel upon each other. And there are things like Museum of Torture. For example, here I'm in Bruges or in Brugge, in Belgium, and something like a museum of torture is existing, meaning that there is a big admiration for torture in human beings, which is really very sad because obviously torture is something horrible and something which should be stopped, and maybe this kind of museums are really inappropriate because if they are somehow um, making vivid or yeah, getting this energy to torture in front of the audience, making torture popular. So people are spending money on torture museums and they are enjoying torture museums. It means that people are generally speaking really enjoying torturing each other, and they are ready to look at torture and and spend money on that, which is totally crazy because people are spending money also on war. So it means that human beings are so violent and so horrible to each other, actually, that they are able to put money into the sadistic um, acts upon each other and enjoy them. So I really think sometimes it is much better to close all the torture museums and not to mention them, because then people would stop fantasize about them, and the cruel politician would stop put people under torture, because as you know torture is still existing in a lot of countries, and it means that politicians are keen to capture people and torture them. It means that if there would be no museums of torture, maybe torture would be just lessened in the world, and in prisons, zero people would have been tortured. So this is like a general idea of mine. It is really sad because we're having so much violence in this world, and this violence is still supported, and the admiration of violence is really very big, and I don't even want to mention Hollywood films with a lot of violence, which makes um, people probably becoming violent, or actually putting the idea of being violent to each other through Hollywood films, which means if there would be less violence in Hollywood films, there would be less criminality around the world, and also less murders around the world. So yeah, these are things to be thought about. How can we lessen the violence in the world while just not showing violence? That would be maybe a good step towards peace in the entire world. That's all about.